two of the most debated names on this show, probably most Chiefs shows, probably the most highly talked about names, controversial names too, JD.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well,
Okay.
I was gonna bring this up. It was when I was parsing through the Mahomes press conference and Andy Reid's press conference. I was like, wait, they actually specifically asked them about these guys, so we got to talk about it. So Skyy Moore, Justyn Ross. There's very, very divisive conversations, very divisive names in the Chiefs world. You have people who really love some of these, love these guys, and some people really just want to be done with them anymore. So they don't want to hear their names anymore. Both have shown flashes, but consistency and health have kept them from breaking through. Recently, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes were asked directly about their outlooks on Justyn Ross and Skyy Moore.
Let's go, baby. Let's see what they got to say, man. Let's go. That's our guys. That's our guys.
These are our guys. They are.
Yeah. Ross for a couple of years now. Where does he fit in the wide receiver room?
Yeah, as long as he stays healthy and he's out there, that's a plus. I mean, he competes. I mean, you could argue that he had one of the best camps last year, and it's just a matter of keeping him upright and trying to work him in that mix of guys. But he's a big receiver that has got real good hands and has done a nice job for us.
What are you hoping to see out of a guy like Skyy Moore before the pads come on in camp?
Sure. Yeah, just getting back in the swing of things, but he looks like he's doing a good job, so he's moving around pretty good. He's been accurate with everything and sharp kid.
Skyy Moore, you got a good chance to look at him again during the offseason, but what are your expectations for him this season?
Yeah, I mean, his job is to come in here and compete. Skyy always is one of the hardest working guys on the football field, and whenever his number's called, you see him go out there and he makes plays happen. And so, like I said, Veach has brought in such great competition in that room that it's you kind of go in with an open mind, and you let guys go out there and compete and try to see who the best 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever guys that is, make the team. But it's all about competing and making each other better.
So JD, Coach speak. What was how'd you when you heard Andy talk about Ross and Moore? What kind of stood out to you? Anything that they said that he said struck you at all?
No. I think he was sitting there like, oh, why y'all asking me particularly about them? But he's like, yeah, sure. Like, hey man, look, everybody's here to compete. That's what they're here to do. So I don't think he had any type of ulterior motive or anything. A message behind it, as far as other than like, hey, look, both these guys are in the building right now until they're not. Until somebody comes in and plays a much better role than they had played, much better job. But Andy and Patrick not going to throw those guys under the bus. Look, they appreciate them. That's the reason they stuck around for so long. They could have got rid of either one of them. I want people to understand this, and I don't think they quite do. You fall in love with guys, but you fall in love with guys because of not just who they are, but also too what they give. And so we need to understand the type of hard work, like Patrick was saying, he's the hardest worker in Skyy Moore out there on the field. We don't appreciate it because all we look at is what they do on a football field. What have you done for us? How many balls do you catch? This and that, blah, blah, blah. But as far as for a guy, that's in the building and what he gives, the hardest worker, one of the hardest workers out on the field, you can appreciate that. The guy's trying hard. Like I said before, nobody's trying to drop passes. Nobody's not trying to be, the best. They're working their tails off to try to do that, Marcus. And that's why I hate when people come in with this slander because they don't know guys. They don't know them. Let's just be honest. All they see is, the product on the field on Sundays, which that's what they base it on, which, in the NFL, it is about the production. It is about what you give. But these guys, whether they're getting the defense ready, corners and the safeties, all those things matter. But until somebody comes in and shows that they play better than these guys, guess what? They're going to be here. They've trusted Skyy Moore out there on third down to catch footballs. Why? Because he's been able to do it in practice. And sometimes those things need to translate to the field. We understand this. We know this. And nobody's blind to it. It's just sometimes we have a different perspective because we're not around him all the time. All we see him is on Sunday. And that's unfair. It's unfair to those guys. It really is. But that's why when I'm sitting over here and pull for a guy like Skyy Moore, we sit there and say some things about Justyn Ross. I think Andy and those guys know how much talent they are, how talented they are. Little things that some other guys might do, other receivers might do. Skyy will go do it. He'll go block. He'll go block his tail off. He'll go make an extra block when you need it. Hey, we needed that. We don't know if this other dude who's sitting over trying to catch 90 balls a game or a year, which I'm sure Skyy and Justyn are still trying to do the same, because Skyy Moore's done it. We see we know he can catch football. We know that. But our other guys wanted to come in and do the dirty work, Marcus. That's the problem. Because sometimes, hey, a wide receiver, that's somebody buckle his chin strap when he knows he might have to go in and go chest up with a linebacker or crack back on a safety or maybe stand up a defensive end. Some guys will turn that down. Skyy Moore won't. He won't. So I'm going to pat him on the back for that, okay? And we can be critical if he drops the pass because people want to be that as soon as it. But it just doesn't encompass what a wide receiver and a teammate is. It's more than just that, okay? And your value doesn't just lie in how many balls you catch with us. Yeah, that's your job, okay? It is. And we want you to do more of it. We want you to catch more balls. But there's other things this guy could go out there and go do. I'll give you another one I think is going to be doing a hell of a job out here. He might catch a whole lot of balls. It's Juju. That's the reason we keep Juju around. Why? Because Juju understands what it means to get open, maybe making some of the blocks with touchdowns to get a first down. It's unselfishness is what it is. And I just, it plays into it, man, because everybody wants stats. Everybody wants those things. And that's the way it comes in. So like what you said, what you was talking about, and each and every guy on our practice squad are important to the team as well. Absolutely, Witchy. Every single guy, to the letter, to the top, to the bottom, however it is, every single guy is important. There's none of those guys out there that doesn't mean anything to the coaching staff and those things. Now, people become expendable because of different things, because of production, but every single guy is important, okay? We need every guy to get ready. We need every guy to get right because we don't know when it might be that time for a guy like that to step up and come in to do his job. So, excuse me. So, hey, yeah, Samuel, Skyy's a second-round pick. He's going to get every opportunity. He's going to get a lot of opportunities, yes. But just because you're a second-round pick, you can still go to the back, and they'll put you back here. And look, second-round pick don't mean they have to stick around. They get rid of him. They can get rid of him. Look, I done seen guys, top picks, get cut because they just tired of them and they didn't have any value in the worth, right?
Well, at a certain point, you're no longer a second round pick. I mean, you're 3 years in. You're 3 years into the NFL. You're not a second round pick anymore. I mean, everyone's kind of an equal footing at year 3, right? I mean, when you say,
what do you mean? Yeah,
like you're no longer that second round pick that anymore. It's not your first or sophomore year. It's your third or fourth year. You need to be kind of getting it at this point.
I mean, well, but I mean, you're still a second round pick for a reason. I mean, because you are talented. They don't take guys in second round because they're not talented or didn't show an ability to make plays. That's the reason Skyy Moore's a second round pick, because we see his ability in college. We know he can get open, and we know he can catch footballs. We know he can make people miss. We know he can score touchdowns. We know all those things that Skyy Moore was able to do in college, he could do in the NFL. We know that. So the thing is, you got to be able to show it. And so sometimes these opportunities are not going to be given just because he's a second round pick. I'm sorry. It isn't, because they don't have to. That's why they've been trotting other guys out there besides Skyy Moore.
Yeah, I mean, that's why Tyquan Thornton's up that list now. I mean, like he new guy, he's up on that list as far as so far at camp right now, or OTAs.
Yeah.
But JD, obviously we talked about the competition. We talked about last week, or on Monday we talked about how great that wide receiver room right now, and it's packed, right? It's big time. I mean, and Mahomes even said it too. It's Brett Veach's done a great job bringing in receivers, and you know it's gonna be tough. With the kind of the talent in that room, and obviously we're gonna need to see, because we talked about projected which guys are gonna be kept a couple weeks back. But obviously training camp needs to play out, and we need to see what's gonna happen with all these other guys. But between Ross and Skyy Moore, whose kind of storyline are you kind of more intrigued in following this year during camp between the two guys? Which one are you kind of more kind of curious to see how they kind of develop throughout training camp this year between Skyy Moore and Justyn Ross. Who are you more intrigued by?
Who are more intrigued?
Yeah, who are you more intrigued by watching through this upcoming training camp?
Probably Skyy Moore. Probably Skyy. Because like you were saying, hey, maybe when you get to like year 3 or 4, then what have you figured out? What has the jump been to get better? Okay. Was it just a mental thing that you've been going through, lack of confidence and whatnot? And have you righted the ship now? Okay. How do you respond when things like this happen? Have you gotten better at it? But I want to see what Skyy's going to be able to do, man. You got such a lot of talent out here at the wide receiver position. The room is crowded. It's crowded. So no mistakes about it, man. Look, this is a high competition type of atmosphere. Some of these guys ain't gonna make it. That's it. So,
I mean, look, Andy Reid said Justyn Ross had a great camp last year, and he was a practice squad guy.
yeah,
he got cut, and they brought him back to the practice squad. So I mean, like, even a guy that had a great camp last year, and we could definitely both say the receiver room this year is probably more talented receiver room top to bottom than it was last year, and he didn't even make the team last year. So I mean, like, what's that mean? You know,
man, it's NFL. That's what it means.
Yeah.
It's NFL. And you know what? Talent wins. Production wins. What we ask you to do and do it well and do it right wins. Period. Point blank. So we'll just have to see, man. We'll have to see. The entire group is intriguing to me. So yeah.
We wish them both well. We are both Ross and Skyy Moore fans on the show.
Absolutely.
But I do think we are coming to a point where it is kind of the end of the line for them. Obviously, I mean, contractually, I think it's the last year for Skyy Moore and his deal. I don't know what Justyn Ross's deal is at this point, as far as how. I mean, he's been cut and then he's brought back on the practice squad many years over and over again. So I don't know what's going on with that. But as far as overall, I think. Do you think this is the end of the line for them if they don't make the team this year? If Skyy Moore doesn't make the team, is it? I mean, probably last year for him. Is it Justyn Ross?
What do you
will he
mean?
make the team?
What do you mean end of the line? What are you talking about?
End of the line for him in Kansas City this
Oh.
year. You think it's a make or break year for both those guys, or no?
Sure, could be. It could be for anybody though.
True.
I told you, man. Look, it's the NFL, and I didn't know Joe Tooney was going to go. We going to get rid of Joe Tooney.
That's true.
That shocked me. I was like, what? One of the best guards in the league? I know he's older, but daggone. Somewhere else. Right? So, thing happens.
Yeah.
So, it could. If they don't show what they have expectations to show and they get enough out of them, it absolutely could be that. Absolutely could be. Sure. That's a fact. So my thing is, these guys are going to go out there and compete. We'll see what they're going to do. But this is what this is all about, man. You got to compete, man. You got to have a production. You got to do well. So it could be a last ride for him. It could be a last ride for a lot of guys that we don't quite know. Guys we think we might want to sign and get in here might not be it. So, yep, that's the way it works, Marcus. I've seen it year in, year out. Doesn't matter. Oh, man, pat you on the back. Man, you're doing a great job. Get your ass. Get out of here. I'll pat you on the back and see you on out the door. Seriously, that's how it happens, man. So, Justyn, the way said, did this guy put on more weight so he can tackle? I don't know. He could. Hey.
He does look a little bit more stacked this year. I wonder if he wants to try to make himself available to be like, maybe get some carries out of the backfield or something. I don't know. He looks stacked this year.
Man, he needs to just concentrate on playing wide receiver right now, and he can be stacked doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're rooting for all those guys. So
Yeah.
I even had someone today like comment on one of our Justyn Ross videos from like last year. It was like, again with this guy, and I was like, that video's from last year. He's like, oh, okay, my bad. It's like people for some reason are fatigued with hearing about Justyn Ross and Skyy Moore.
They are, man. They the easy targets, right? Easy targets. So
Yeah.
we say it all the time, man. We pull for all the guys. As long as you're wearing the jersey here, we're gonna pull for you, man. We're gonna wish you well. We're gonna hope you come and do what you're supposed to do. So
100%. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.